Hello, hello, hello. I am the Linux Bench. The other day I did a video showing some things in my configuration files for Qtile and the Awesome Window Manager, and I forgot to talk about some things. So today I'm going to talk about it. So let's get to it. I'm in a virtual machine of Arch Linux with the Qtile Window Manager. And the Qtile Window Manager is a dynamic window manager. So let's say we open up a terminal, which would be mod key enter or Windows key enter. And we have a terminal. Now let's open up Firefox, which would be mod key F. There's Firefox. See how it is? Now, let's say I hit this column button. It's going to make Firefox full screen. Or if I use my mouse and click on the terminal and click on columns, it's going to make the mouse full screen. Now, let's say I open up something else. Let's open up HTOP. So it's going to be mod key H. Now there's HTOP. Now see, I have 3 opened up. Now if I want HTOP to be full screen, I'm going to click it on with my mouse. I'm going to click on columns, and there it is. Click it on again, and you have all 3. Now what's going to happen if I open up something else. Let's open up Rhythmbox. Rhythmbox is a music player, so it's going to be mod key R. And there's Rhythmbox up there. Now if I click it on and do columns, it's going to be full screen. This is a music player. I don't have any music in here. I do on my main production computer. I have lots of songs in here, but this is just a virtual machine. I don't have any music in here. So let's hit this max button again. And see, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 windows, and you can open more. So I'm going to close them. Shift, mod key, C would be close, close, close. And most of the time, if I use the tiling thing, I just use 2. I don't usually open up lots of windows because we have 9 workspaces here. So I can always open up another workspace and do work in there, right? And let's open up the terminal, mod key enter. So usually I'll just have 2 open, but this is what the tiling window manager thing is about. And of course I can open up another workspace and do work in there. So I'm going to shut that. So I'm not going to talk too much more. Well, that's about all I have to say for Qtile. So I'm going to quit out of there. I'm going to clear the screen. And today I have my login manager or my display manager turned off. So when I booted into the system, it just booted into the TTY. So I'm going to do Vim. I'm doing things the hard way. More fun. Vim xnrc. And I'm going to comment out the Qtile. Why use the login manager, or as it's probably called, a display manager, when you can do things in the TTY, in the terminal? And let's uncomment awesome. Let's save it. Now let's clear the screen. We don't really have to clear the screen. I just do it for the sake of the video. Let's go into StartX. Now we're in the awesome window manager. So the awesome window manager is also a dynamic window manager. So, for instance, open up a terminal. Well, let's just use the mouse. Okay. Let's open up Xterm. There's Xterm. Now you can also use the mouse here, by the way. That opens it up too, right? Or the menu, I should say. You can open up the menu here. And let's open up, what do I want to open up? Let's open up Firefox. See? Now, let's say I want to make one of them full screen. I'm going to click on the Firefox one, and I'm going to click on this little icon here, and it's full screen. Now, if I want to bring it back to the tiling thing, well, and I can click on Xterm, or I can click on Firefox, just like you could in a desktop environment. Now, if I go back to Firefox, and I click on this little icon, it's going to bring it back to tiling. Now what's going to happen if I open up another app? Let's open up my file manager, PCManFM. Oh, that's off. So you know what? Let's go to another workspace. And let's do mod key P. And I'm going to hit custom. I'm going to type in custom. Custom look and feel. See right here? custom look and feel. Now you can't click it on, it won't click on, but you can enter it. So the way I got into there was mod key P brings up this menu. I'm going to type in custom and I'm going to hit enter because the mouse won't work, right? Let's hit enter. And I'm just going to click it back on. Matera dark. Let's go icon. Let's just, you know what happened? Because I logged into Cinnamon when I was making another video and Cinnamon threw this off. That's why that happened. So now I'm going to go back to workspace 1. I'm going to close Cinnamon. Sorry, I'm going to close PCman FM and I'm going to reopen it. There you go. So now it's dark theme. So you see I have 3 HTOP. So now we have HTOP here. We have Firefox here. I have my file manager here and I have my terminal here. Now let's say I want to make another sirens again outside like there was yesterday. I don't know if the microphone's picking them up. Let's say I want to make Firefox full screen. I'm going to click it on. I'm going to click on this. Now it's full screen. And if I want, and I can always go to the other ones here. Let's go back to Firefox and let's click it back on. Normally, I don't have all these things open up like that because you can, there's 9 workspaces and I can just go to another workspace and do stuff, right? But this is what a dynamic window manager is about. Let's close everything. So normally if I'm opening up more than one thing in on the same workspace, because we have 9 workspaces here, right? If I'm opening up more than one app on the same workspace, normally I just open up 2. So let's open up Firefox. And let's open up PCman FM, my file manager. Or we can open up Nemo. I have Nemo as a file manager as well. So there's Nemo and there's Firefox. Normally I'll just open up 2 things. And usually if I'm opening up 2 things, it's opening up a terminal. Usually because I'll be doing something in the terminal and I'm not sure how to do something and I look it up on the internet. And a lot of times I'll go to the Arch Linux wiki and I'll look it up and then I'll go into the terminal and type it in. Now, there's another thing to know about Awesome. And the other day I did a video about talking about some things in my Qtile configuration, my Cinnamon configuration, and my Awesome configuration file, and I totally forgot to talk about this. But I've talked about this in older videos. I've done several older videos about Awesome, and I dealt with these issues, but I'm going to do it again because I think there's a lot of new people watching my channel, and a lot of times people don't scroll back to the older videos. I'm going to change to the default Awesome window manager because I want to show you a few things. So I'm going to open up a terminal as mod key enter, or you could just do xterm like that. So mod key enter opens up the terminal and I'm going to cd into .config. I'm going to ls it and I'm going to make it a little larger. And see this awesome folder here? This is where my awesome configuration files are. So I'm not going to delete it. If I delete this folder, my Awesome will revert to the default Awesome window manager configuration that comes with Arch Linux. So I'm not going to delete it. What I'm going to do is change the name. I'm just going to change the name and I'm going to change the name in the terminal. So what I'm going to do is, and the way you change the name in the terminal is you use the move command, believe it or not. Why? I don't know. But if you use the move command in the terminal, it will change the name. I'm going to do mv as the move command. Now you can use the move command to move a folder or a file somewhere else, to put it in a different spot on your computer. But you can also use the move command just to change the name of a folder or a file. So I'm going to do move to awesome period save. Whoops. Period save. Okay. Now let's ls it. Okay, so now we have an awesome save folder. Let's just cd into it. Let's ls it. And there's my files. So because I changed the name to awesome save, the system won't recognize it. And when I log into Awesome, it's gonna log into the default Awesome configuration file that came with Arch Linux. Okay? And actually, I don't even have to do that. I can close this and I can just do a restart. It should work. So let's do restart. And now we're in the default Awesome window manager that comes with Arch Linux. Now, just as a side note, the default Awesome window manager that comes with Arch Linux is more bare bones than the one that comes in Debian. Now, the one that comes in Debian, at first glance, looks exactly the same as this, but the one in Debian, now, before I go there, so if you noticed, in my configuration file, I have this menu here, and there's, first of all, the menu is larger print, larger font, and there's all kinds of things in it. And the default menu that comes in Awesome with Arch Linux, it's bare bones. There's a few things in there, but not a lot. Like you can open a terminal and you can restart the system and so forth. But it's pretty bare bones and it's not interactive. And also, my menu configuration is not interactive in the sense where if you download a new app, you're going to have to manually put it into this menu in the Arch default one and in my one. But in the Debian one, if you use the Debian default Awesome window manager configuration, this menu is going to have all your apps are going to be in here and it's interactive. So if you're in Debian and you download a new app, it's automatically going to go into this menu. Anyways, I just thought I'd explain that. So this menu is bare bones, hardly anything in it. The bar is at the top instead of the bottom, and it's really small. And it also has this icon here. And what's this icon? So what I'm going to do is open a terminal, and I'm going to cd into etc xdg. Okay, let's ls it. Let's cd into Awesome. And you know what? You shouldn't be changing the Awesome configuration in here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the default Awesome folder and everything in it into my home directory. Okay, so I'm going to do cp for copy -r, and actually I think I might have to do sudo on this one. Well, let's try it without sudo. I'm going to cd for copy. I'm going to do -R for recursive. So recursive means it's going to copy everything that's within the folder. And of course, I could do this in PCman FM or Nemo. I could do this in the graphical, user-friendly file manager. But let's do it in the terminal. It's more fun. So I'm going to copy Awesome folder to home/.config. And hit enter. And I'm going to cd out of there. I'm going to clear the screen. I'm going to go into .config. I'm going to ls it. So now you see we have my Awesome saved folder, which is my configurations. And we just copied the default Awesome folder into our home directory, because in that other folder where we were, you're not supposed to change files in there. So, and because if you do change the file in there and configure that file, when Awesome gets an update, the update's going to override it and put the brand new default file back into your system. When you have configuration files in your home folder in .config, updates don't override your configurations. Okay? So, cd into Awesome, ls it. Let's go into RC Lua. Vim RC. And let's go to the top. So this is the default configuration file. And I'm just going to show you a few things. So this is the menu. So if you look in the menu, in my menu, this is super long. I got about, I don't know, 10, 15 things in there. It's bare bones. And if you go down further, in the video I did the other day, I showed how I made key bindings, and I had a full list of key bindings this long for the Awesome Window Manager. So the Awesome Window Manager, it comes with a few key bindings, but not key bindings for your apps. That's another point. So now what I want to show you is this. So the Awesome Window Manager comes with, if you see this icon there, and if you're using my configuration file, I took this icon out because I don't use it and I don't like it, but maybe you do. So this icon here, the Awesome Window Manager comes with all these different tiling layouts. So right now it's set for the way I like it, but if you hit this icon, so let's open up a few more things. Let's open up Firefox, mod key P. Let's type in Firefox. So there's Firefox. And let's open up something else. Mod key P. Let's open up PCMan FM. Is my file manager. So we have three things opened up. So this is the tiling that I like to use when I'm using it. But you can switch this and go through these different layouts. So for instance, see all these layouts? Now you can see the bottom three are commented out by default. They're deactivated. But you have all these different layouts. So we can go back and you can change the layouts. Maybe you like it like that. Maybe you like it like that. Maybe you like it like that. And you can switch through all these different styles of layouts. Okay? So what I did with my configuration file, I don't like all these layouts. So I deactivated all these layouts and I only use one particular layout. The next thing I did is I moved the bar to the bottom and I made the font larger so it's easier to read. I made the clock larger so it's easy to read. And I changed the whole format of the clock. You probably can't even see it because it's so small. But I changed the whole format of the clock. And I got rid of this icon because I only have one. I deactivated all the layouts. So now what I'm going to do is let's close this configuration file. So let's go into .config folder. Let's ls it. So I have two folders here. I have this awesome default folder, which we copied it from where it is, where we're not supposed to be changing it. And this one for save is mine. So what I want to do is remove this awesome. And of course, we could do this in the GUI file manager like PCMan FM or Nemo. But let's do it in the terminal. It's more fun. So I'm going to do RM for remove -F. And the F is by force. So you got to make sure you click on the right folder because it's not going to go into the trash can. And if you delete it this way, it's going to be gone forever. So remove by force, awesome. But you got to make sure we have two awesomes in there. I don't want to delete this awesome saved one because that's my configurations. I want to delete this one, this default one that we copied over to our home folder. So I'm going to delete it, hit enter. Now it should be gone. And now it's gone. So now we only have one awesome in there, and that's my configuration file. But it doesn't work because it's called awesome.save. So we got to change the name from awesome.save back to awesome. So I'm going to hit move. So the move command, remember the MV is the move command. It's for moving files and folders to another spot on your computer. But it's also used to change the name of a file or a folder. Why? I don't know. So MV is move. We're going to move the awesome from awesome saved to awesome. Hit enter, and let's see if it worked. And there it worked. Now I'm going to close the terminal. And I'm going to restart. Let's restart. And now we're back into my configuration file. We see the bar is at the bottom. It's a lot larger and easy to read. The clock is larger and easy to read. And the clock is reformatted, and you probably can't tell too much because that clock was so hard to see anyways. And my menu is back. I have all my stuff in my menu. Oh, and that icon is gone. That icon that changes the format. Now let's go into Xterm. I'm just going to show you one more thing or a few more things, and then I'm going to be gone. Let's make it large. So Shift plus makes it larger. Let's do Vim. Well, if you're using my Zech configuration file, you can get into the Awesome this way. Config takes you in it, and that's way too large. So here are the layouts. So as you can see, I'm only using one layout. I deactivated all the layouts because I only like the one layout, which is this style. Okay, so you got here, I got the terminal open with my configuration file. I got a brand new terminal open and I have Firefox. And usually I just use two. Normally I'll just have two things open, and I don't even do that often because there's 9 workspaces and I can just go to another workspace and do something and leave this one open. But if I do use the tiling, I'll just usually have 2 things open. But that's besides the fact. So what I did was I deactivated all these lines. So you might want to reactivate them rather than reverting to the default configuration file and changing things yourself. And you might want to do that. You might want to start off with the default configuration file and make your own awesome configuration file. So you might want to do that. So I'm just letting you know that if you're brand new to Awesome and you don't know anything about Awesome, I deactivated all these things and I'm only using one. And of course, I showed in my last video, I added all these things into the menu. So the menu has all these things in it. And I also showed in one of my most recent videos, I made key bindings to open up programs. And so for instance, mod key F opens up Firefox, mod key control N will open up Nemo, mod key C will open up the calculator, and so forth. And of course, like I mentioned in a recent video, that if one of these key bindings is not working for you, or if something in this menu is not working for you, like OpenShot, it's because OpenShot is not installed in the system. So that OpenShot is in the menu because it's a leftover from something I was doing a long time ago, and I didn't take it out of the menu. So it's still in the menu, but OpenShot is not installed in the system. It wasn't installed in my Auto app if you used my Auto app for installing your packages. And I already talked about this in a recent video, so I'm not going to go into any more details about that. Now, if you go back up to the top, so Vim is GG takes you to the top, / does a search. Let's do a search for clock. So this is the clock widget, and this is how I reformatted the clock. Okay, so line 150, line 150 is where I reformatted the clock. So it says Sunday, January 7, 2024. It has AM and PM, and it even has seconds. Now, the way I moved the bar from the top to the bottom was here in this line 243. I changed this. This used to say top. I changed it to bottom. And the way I got rid of that icon, remember that icon that takes you through the different layouts? The way I got rid of it is right here, line 262. My layout box, S period, my layout box, this one right here, line 262, I commented it out. Right, I put two dashes, and that deactivated the line, and that's the way I got rid of that. And the way I changed the font is I went into the folder. I'm already in there, but I'm going to show you how I got there. PWD, and this is where it is. It's in /user /share /awesome /themes /default. So it's in here. I'm in all these folders within folders within folders. Okay. And that's the path. PWD shows you the path. So now I'm going to LS it. What I did was I copied this theme, and I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to override my theme because I've changed it. But I copied this theme Lua. I copied it, CP, themes, copied, CP is for copy, so I copied CP Lua tilde dash dot config slash awesome. And I hit enter. Now, if I hit enter now, it's going to copy it and it's going to override my configuration, one of my configuration files that I worked on. So I'm not going to do it. So right now I'm in the default awesome theme. To font, we notice the font is at 8. In mine, I changed it to 11. And also, if we go down here, we have it at 15. We have line 65 is at 15. And line 66 is at 100. So this is my awesome theme. And you can see line 14 is at 11. And line 65 is at 15, and line 66 is at 150. And also, just to mention quickly, and I'm not going to talk much about this because I talked in detail about this in my previous video where I showed how to manually change the wallpapers in the Awesome Window Manager and in the Qtile Window Manager without using a wallpaper application in the GUI. So I'm not going to talk about it, but this is where the wallpapers are. Okay. So now if we go to the, this one is the default one. We can see it's at 8 and it's at 15 and 100. And we can see there's only one wallpaper in here. The default wallpaper at line 100. And this is mine with all the wallpapers in it. And it's at 11. Okay. And that's it. In this video, I discussed dynamic window managers because Qtile and the Awesome are dynamic window managers. And I showed the different modes of tiling. And I spent majority of the time in the Awesome Window Manager showing the changes I made to it and what you could be missing out if you're using my configuration. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like it and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. Until next time, I am the Linux Mensch.